on mute.
Is the lobby already up?
Let me check. I'm going to the lobby as we speak. No, not yet.
I should probably have audio. That would be very helpful.
It sounds like the blaster got a direct, but I can't tell because I can't hear anything. Dang. Well, hello everyone. I'm Takeshi, you're you, and this is Sparda, and welcome to commentary? Question mark?
Last second commentary.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Dear friend Cal and their team, they're playing against Cal's dear friends on their team, their old team. It's the showdown of the century, and we wouldn't miss it for the world, even though we are rusty commentators and we're not experienced cameramen. But it's...
Yeah, commentary is going to be a little scuffed, but we're going to try our best.
Yeah.
And I should probably look this up on the challenge, but I only know points opponents as VQ. I should probably look up what their real full name is.
vectorQry, I believe, but don't cite me on that. Or quote me.
This is Division 6?
Yeah, 6.
Okay, I'm making sure I got the right one. Oh my gosh, why is the challenge page so weird? Okay, here it is. Wait, this is Splatoon 2! Oh my goodness, come on, man.
Let me send you the link, because I did the same thing, because you're all like, oh, it's probably going to be easy to find, and then all of a sudden you're on a wild goose chase being like, that wasn't easy to find! So, there's the link. Yeah, we're in Season 15, Division 6 in Group D.
Alrighty. Yeah, vectorQry, okay.
Let me know when you're ready for the pass, because as long as I read you... Oh, I'm such a fucking idiot. Never... While I'm typing it in on screen. Ah!
Bro, come on.
I forgore. Hey everyone, 52-52. Don't beat us in. They'll never know what types it in on the screen.
Oh my god.
Okay. So this is, these are the maps for week 4. This is gonna be exciting because we had a bye for week 4, so these maps are brand spanking new as far as us seeing them in LUTI goes. How cool.
Yeah, I guess for anybody who is unaware of the lore, BSIB's opponents were supposed to be... Oh, I don't know why I'm talking about us in third person, but anyways, our original Week 4 opponents were Stardust Inksaders, who perished before the LUTI even started, so that's why we got the bye.
Yeah, and I'm also just now realizing that I forgot to share the unlisted link to the stream, so let me do that. Let me do that. Put it in, promote yourself. Okay. There you go. Rob, if you want to jump in there, you can do that. Hell yeah. Dang. Okay, yeah, now we're chilling.
Look at that. Our careers as LUTI commentators begins now.
Begins and probably ends.
Ends.
There we go. Rob's in here. We're in here. High Point and yeah, now we can do all our memes and bits and be like, Hind Paint did a tremendous job on taking the point.
Oh no.
I didn't have enough time to make a thumbnail for the for the stream, so I just threw the LUTI logo on there. But you know what? That's fine.
Perfect.
It'll do. Little Whip, the real one's here too. Hello, Little Whip, the real one. Oh, wait.
All right, I guess, since we're gonna wait for the teams to ready up and stuff, kind of going back into what you said earlier, that these two teams have a history, and it's not really because they've played a lot in bracket. It's just, I know Callium can correct me, but I'm pretty sure at least half of High Point are formerly vectorQry. So whether or not, I think it was on friendly terms. I don't think they're enemies or anything, but LUTI's already stressful enough, so having to face off against former teammates can add a bit more of a layer to that.
And if they weren't enemies before, they're gonna be enemies after, because this set's gonna be crazy.
Wait, is that not a oh, okay, that was a pencil from the side of High Point. I was like, there's no way Callium's not playing pencil.
Okie dokie, so we're starting. We got a Undertow TC, double dualies. Or I need to. Oh, it doesn't show the names.
From Callium.
Okay, orange is High Point and purple is VQ. Okay. Ooh.
You can already see. Ooh, I was gonna say that High Point getting the initiative there with Cal getting the pick, but it looks like the push kind of started and ended immediately. So now they're gonna have to deal with BQ having that special charge with barely even a lead at all.
It's wild out here. The Dynamo is looking for a pick. They're looking to swim in mid, just skirmishing to see who can get the tower. Let me move to Cal. How do I do that? Down on the D-pad. Cal's looking for a shot on the snipe, pulling the backlines as they do so well.
Dynamo getting a pick on the spider shot there. I'm so used to saying hero shot. Ooh, the Dynamo flank. Ooh, Cal getting picked off there. As VQ starts their push and immediately are met with strikes on the tower.
Oh my goodness, I'm just now realizing it is a double gold Dynamo matchup. So there are two sets of chumps and two sets of Dynamos on this, and they're squaring off here for the tower because both teams want this right now.
And especially for tower control, these are very unorthodox team comps, and I'm mainly, like, as you mentioned, the Dynamos. Dynamos aren't necessarily weapons you see at all at higher level play, which is really nice to see, just because, these up-and-coming teams are able to show off these comps that a lot of people think don't work, but then they make it work because they build around it. And as we can see, both Dynamos are just commanding a lot of space.
They really are. There was a crazy Zuka play that's getting... Oh crap, it's gonna be so... I wish it said the team names. I think Orange is High Point, right? Orange is... Yeah.
Yes.
High Point is fighting. They nearly get lead, but it is tied up at 76-76. And it looks like Coffee here with their dualies, which double dualies on the side of VQ. They're looking to paint back mid. Let's see if they can get tower. We'll see what Cal has to say about that. Moving to Cal's point of view.
Especially for a very swingy map like this, seeing both teams stalemate at 76 is pretty rare. Usually you'd see one team get a wipe by now and push it at least to the second checkpoint, but I don't know, maybe it's just the duel of the Dynamos that are just holding both teams back.
Duel of the Dynamos indeed. It looks like High Point is taking lead. Cal is running the tower, fighting through. Oh, getting a pick on the Dynamo, but going to fall to the ink strikes thrown by Coffee, who is also getting another pick on the Dynamo. It looks like a trade, and the tower seems to be dead for now, unless
they can somehow find a way to just break this wall created by both Dynamos, where you get rid of the Dynamo and out come the ink strikes to stop your push anyway, so it's either you die by the Dynamo or you die by the strikes. It's going to be really interesting to see which team breaks through and how they break through.
For sure, no doubt about that. Looks like the shot is looking for some picks with the Zuka. They don't find anything, but they're having a duel here with the... I'm not sure who that was, but the edit fell. as the shot is looking for a pick on right side, but finding some strikes, surviving, and taking out the Dynamo. That was a crazy play from the shot.
Yeah, this match rather is turning really scrappy. Both teams are just struggling to have some kind of foothold on mid, and any amount of advantage is immediately being met with just a lot of aggression and a really sturdy defenses from both sides.
The cooler is blocking my camera, but trust me when I say the edit is making moves on the tower. They're fighting for that lead, and it's going. Oh, it's a 51-51. Oh.
Ooh. Just 1 frame short. 1 frame short. Really unfortunate there.
Deja vu again, but this side it's VQ who's suffering from that tied, I don't know, tied counter where they weren't able to get the lead by just 1 point. And there's only 30 seconds of this game remaining. It's still anyone's game, but I don't know. If High Point can hold their defense, they might be able to take this one.
Yeah, since it seems that either team can't really push past mid that consistently, so as long as High Point keeps doing what they're doing, they are kind of set to win this one. As VQ is starting their push, who knows? Maybe that can change. They're getting a second chance at life.
Oh, it's so close. Only the Dualies are left. They jumped in, but they couldn't take it.
Too late.
Holy guacamole. Okay. We're getting our, or I don't know how camera controls were for you. I was a little spazzy, but I was getting the hang of it by the end. That was magnificently played by both sides there. The duels in mid, I don't even know what to say about the duel of the Dynamos. Sparda, that was intense.
Very intense and very unorthodox. That's just kind of how it is, especially with how both teams are I would say compromised, but that's not the word. Both team compositions are actually built in a way where it's like their game plans are to be really passive until they find an opening, and then they become really, really offensive and hold a choke point. But when both teams are built like that, with almost identical comps, and both teams having a Dynamo, it's just really hard to find that opportunity.
True, I absolutely agree. The double dually comp on VQ, I wasn't expecting that, but it seemed like they were definitely battling the shot who I believe. Oh, I can't see. Dang it! Okay, I went back to my match log to see if I could see who is who, but no such luck. It's rough out here, gamers.
And I'm really to see how either team adapts, because mirror matches are, well, it's not exactly a mirror match, but with the way both teams are playing, it's as close to a mirror match as you can get. How each team is going to adapt to both teams having a Dynamo, because it's kind of safe to assume that it is very rare that you'll run into a Dynamo at all. But now that, it looks like both Dynamos are of equal skill, since they were both holding back the opposing teams rather convincingly. So I'm kind of curious to see how either team adapts to the other team having just a Dynamo and just being unable to break that just oppressive wall of ink that's being tossed at them the whole time.
For game number 2, we have Rainmaker on Humpback Pump Track. Sparta, do you think we're going to see 2 dueling Dynamos on this map again? I wonder if we will.
I think we will. I feel like at least for High Point, I think they're going to stay Dynamo because it's just the core of their team. I feel like Callium's probably going to pivot to Edit just to get that faster pop. But on Humpback, who knows? Edit can be kind of weird to play on this, as Callium opts to stay on Pencil. I don't blame them. Playing Edit here can be really hard.
There we go. That answers our questions indeed. Duel of the Gold Dynamo returns as looks like VQ is swapping one of their dualies out for a blaster. Which blaster that is? You're asking me. Sparta, which blaster is that?
That would be the Rapid Pro Deco, and I can fully understand why, because you're just able to long distance pressure with the angle shooters. I remembered the name this time. And with Killer Whale, you're just able to just pressure anyone from anywhere. And of course, being a pest in general, with just getting a bunch of chip damage out there with the blaster itself. But as we can see, VQ is just having a commanding hold on mid right now. High Point kind of struggling to make any hold on there.
True, and oh, the Dynamo just barely able to sneak the checkpoint as the Mage is forced to jump back with their Wiper. Probably a good play to be able to hold that corner. Goodness, yeah, this is how Humpback goes. It is already off to the races as Cal is watching this corner and making sure there's no early yoinky sploinkies, hopefully.
I think you, from previous scrims we've had with High Point, I'm pretty sure you put the fear of the Zapfish into them about the good old yoinky sploinky. Kind of a BSIB special.
With no fear of the Zapfish, we have the Edit here who's looking to get a pick and defend this left side because they know if they fall, it could be, I don't know, that checkpoint could be broken. They're down here in the pit looking for and as I say that, looks like High Point is down 2 while the Wiper, well then it changed again. The Wiper, I think, able to get a double, and this is just a bloodbath in mid.
That's just kind of how Humpback Rainmaker goes. I mean, just because you get the first checkpoint early is not even close to being an indicator of how the match will go. Just the map is so small, the checkpoints are so close, and as we can see, you know, High Point's already kind of reversed the roles, turned the tables, if you would.
Indeed they have. The way they pushed in together with the, I believe it was the Dynamo and the Wiper leading. Oh my gosh. The coordination was phenomenal. And this Blaster saving the day and stopping the Rainmaker here in this elbow. And it looks like High Point has one member left. Looks like Dust, or yeah, pardon me, Dust on the left side.
Yeah, and immediately we can see VQ getting all coolered up and already on the counter offensive. But I mean, 35 is pretty deep in there. So considering how back and forth this is, I'm really curious to see how they're going to be able to create an opening and just take the lead from here because things are looking pretty rough. Yeah, there's only 2 minutes left, but I don't know. It feels like High Point just got their second win or firing on all cylinders right now.
And, well, they're sure trying to. It looks like they're popping specials, not able to get anything from that hammer nor the crab.
Ooh.
And it looks like VQ is looking for more points on the board. They're hungry for that lead. Can the sword stop them? They got oh!
Nope. The commentator's curse. Commentator's curse in full glory as VQ manages to get an extremely good push with a very good lead. High Point at this point, haha, pun intended, needs to get basically a KO to win this.
Ooh, anything could happen on Humpback, and Cal made the right move by grabbing that Rainmaker and getting it away from that nasty podium because you do not want the Rainmaker in that spot with these aggressive players going on. VQ is, dang it, I'm so sick of like picking a character who jumps out, and I'm like, why did I have to pick the one person who's jumping? VQ, they're defending this corner because they want to hold on to their their lead. They want to hold on to their lead.
And they're holding on for dear life because just the sheer amount of pressure being applied by High Point and
Oh, Cal has 10 seconds left. Can they get the lead with nearly exploding? We're at
only
8.
2 up.
We're at 7. No way. Oh.
No. Oh.
That is
barely falling short.
Tragic. That is a hard situation to be in because obviously you want to play it slow. You want to have the right play, but when your Rainmaker is counting down like that, you really can't. I don't know. You don't have time for common sense. You just gotta go. The game just got a little bit closer. It's 6-12. That is a crazy score for 20 seconds left on the clock.
It is, but it really you can be 1 point off, and it doesn't really matter unless you get the lead. And beating a score of 6 is going to be insane, considering there's only 15 seconds on the clock right now. So if High Point has a plan, they're going to have to execute right now, or else they are going to lose this game.
Oh, it's going to be tough. Cal had a plan. It didn't go great. That Rainmaker is just in a really difficult spot.
And that's a wrap. Ooh, man. A lot of back and forth there. That was a real slugfest, but it kind of felt like I willed that into existence with the commentator's curse, where VQ immediately proved me wrong because not only did they break High Point's defense, but they got an extremely good lead that they were able to hold on to.
That's just kind of the Humpback way, and this is our prophesied old Muppet moment where we're like, I'm just glad that we weren't the ones playing. Ha ha ha!
I mean, moments like that are extremely fun to watch, but when you're on the receiving end of that, that is such huge amounts of emotional damage.
True, and goodness, that game could have went any direction. I think if High Point had just a little bit more time on the Rainmaker to make a more careful approach, and they got really close. I mean, we couldn't even call out all the deaths that were going on because it looked like both yellow ink and blue ink were dying left and right. So that was a frenzy for sure.
And who knows, maybe in an alternate timeline, had Cal actually moved forward and allowed themselves to go down to pop the shield again to refresh the timer, maybe they could have gotten that. Because things were getting a lot, like, were getting really hectic during that push, but did the timer hit 0, or did Cal actually go down?
I think they went down, but that's up to you guys at home to rewind the stream. Goodness
But that's
gracious.
just like the hidden challenge in Rainmaker, where yeah, you know, you can just sit around and shoot Rainmaker blast all day, but you're on a 60-second timer, and depending on how you manage that time you have, sometimes just taking initiative and going down when your numbers are up is just kind of the way to go. Otherwise, you end up in situations like that where you're only at 5 seconds left and you just got to make a push and you just barely miss the mark.
True. Regardless, excellent effort by both teams. And speaking of maps that I'm glad that I'm not playing, we're moving to Splat Zones on Mahi Mahi, which not usually a betting man, but I would bet that the duel of the Golden Dynamos will continue because the presence of Dynamo already is going to work well on Mahi, and then paired with Chumps, which, I mean, Chumps are Chumps, but, I mean, the painting potential and just making people scatter off of this thumbtack of a map, I don't know, it could cook, and we're about to find out.
Yeah, I expect both Dynamos to have an extremely strong presence at the beginning of this match here, because of the map layout is just really going to benefit just how much ink and damage it can just throw out. And in the second half, when the map changes, we might see the Dynamos struggle a little more, especially against the edit or the pencil, but we'll see. I mean, Mahi is a map that I am not too familiar with because you almost never see it, but here we are not playing it.
It's worth noting that the Dynamo on VQ, they went for Cooler instead of Chumps, which I feel like is a totally valid pick. And man, while we were gabbing away, we were doing a little bit of a yap. The Dooley's got a double. Cal picked them. The zone is already at 60 for High Point. They're indeed painting a lot. I was gonna say painting high, but that was too stupid to commit to the bit with. Oh my gosh, everything is coming up High Point so far. It looks like VQ is looking to escape their spawn, the Mahi Mahi curse. The counter is already at 20. And things are looking wacky.
Yeah, things are not looking too good for VQ right now. It's just High Point's Dynamo is just doing a really good job of keeping the zone painted, keeping the enemy team locked down. They're just commanding the pace of this game, and you know, as a Dynamo, that's exactly what you want. And you know, we just yapped away, and our little yap session just took in half of the match time, and here we are. It's over. That was a very dominating performance by High Point.
Indeed it was, and holy crab, Batman, the way that the sword player, there you go, the way that Soda Chip was able to, and we got the fist bump, you know we do. Their crab, it looked like they scared enough players away to be able to get a pick and paint and distract them long enough to be able to get that zone that was nearly in VQ's control. Excellent play there for the skirmish, the control, the aggression. I mean, that feels absolutely dreadful when that happens to you, but this is how Splatoon 3 goes. That's just kind of how it rolls.
Yeah, that's another aspect of these long sets that a lot of teams don't really account for. Like, it's almost guaranteed that one map is going to be a wash like that, and it's just, can you just accept that that's in the past and just move on? And speaking of moving on, and emotional damage, Clan Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime is next.
Haha. I don't know what you're referring to, Sparda. Did we pop off like crazy on this map at a LAN?
I don't remember, considering that I was actually dying.
Fair. fair. Well, Clam Blitz Barnacle and Dime is anything but a fan favorite, but that's what we're about to see. I think both of these teams seems like they've adapted to the frenetic energy of Splat 3. They're aggressive. They fight in small quarters. They've got cooler power. They've got some back lineage. They've got a lot of front lineage. I think we're gonna see a bit of a closer match here than we just saw on, not Mincemeat because it's not in my log, on Mahi. Dang it.
Yeah, honestly, it's gonna be really interesting to see how two Dynamo comps approach this, because normally Barnacle and Dime in general is a very aggressive map in its design. I mean, it's like just a hallway essentially, but it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell exactly where each Dynamo is gonna go, because it just kind of feels like every spot's a good spot for them.
Well,
and yeah, I mean, with two Dynamos, I mean, that's probably going to be the story of this entire set.
probably so. And yeah, welcome Marcia. The score is indeed 2-1 in favor of High Point, and stay tuned to see where it goes from here as our teams collect clams and see who can take over mid first. It looks like Soda Chip is pushing the right elbow, seeing if they can get a little flirtatious, and their flirting is shut down by Coffee, who's shut down by the other guy. Oh my gosh, wrong basket. There we go. Tusk is trying to hold on to mid, grabbing Cooler real quick before they die. I don't know if it activated because Banana split them real quick. Hey.
Indeed, I mean, this is kind of exactly going as how we described it, like every other game. It's just a slugfest with both Dynamos approaching each other and just half of the enemy team being vaporized instantly. I mean, I am glad that I'm not the one right now, because I would probably be screaming the whole time.
Oh my goodness. I think it makes sense that High Point recommended that we run Cooler so much, because watching these two teams play and the way that they just trade blow after blow and cooler after cooler, it's crucial. It really is, and it makes a lot of sense to see these two teams squaring off. But it looks like High Point is 2 members down. I guess there were 2 members down in VQ spawn, so VQ might have a chance to reclaim mid and see if they can maybe get the first dunk as this Crab gets a pick on Soda.
Yeah, so far it's really just coming down to which team can just hold mid for more than 5 seconds. It kind of feels like when one team gets the advantage, a Crab gets popped, a Dynamo flank happens, and all of a sudden, control of mid has just changed.
Indeed. It looks like the Wiper just popped special. They chucked that. Oh, man. They chucked the stamp as far as they could. But that Rapid said, no thank you, shut them down. And they're trying to find some picks with their whale as the chumps rain down from heaven.
And it's really interesting to see chumps being played here, especially by both sides, where it's just chip damage for everyone right now, as High Point seems to finally be... Ooh, never mind. As soon as I say that, they go 2 down, and their push is pretty much over.
Oh, but it looks like Soda was at least taking some people down with them in that corner, and they've got... Oh, that's a bit of an awkward situation to have 2 footballs with only 2 members. But their backups have arrived as VQ hungrily eyes that corner. But I say that as their 1 member hops out, but... Oh, wait a minute!
Oh?
What? Ooh,
Oh,
Soda!
The push begins. The push begins. And I mean, a 40-point lead for your first push is good, but instantly wiping like that is really tricky, especially on Clam Blitz. Yeah, you have the cooler to soften the blow, but you're basically giving the enemy team mid and the specials, and as soon as I say that, the dually on the sides of VQ goes down, and now it's 3v4, and it seems like High Point's just gonna kind of chill for a second here.
Oh, but they better not chill for too long, because one wrong move on this map and it is coming up just a disaster. As looks like Soda gets a pick on the blaster, and they're looking to up their clam economy, but the bomb was close enough. A little bit of Splatoon bullshit perhaps, and Cal said, I didn't appreciate that at all, and takes out the Dynamo.
That was very precarious positioning by the Dynamo. It kind of felt like they were trying to scope out how aggressive Callium was willing to get, and they absolutely got their answer. As that cost them a power clam, so I don't know if things aren't looking too good for VQ right now. As High Point enters their second push.
They do, and I'm writing a letter to Nogami and telling them that whichever way the actual basket control is should be changed, because every time I go to the basket, it's the opposite one. If I've ever badmouthed commentators for that, I apologize immensely.
And at the very least, VQ was able to kind of damage control that a little bit, where High Point wasn't able to get any points off of that. They only have 10 points on the penalty now, but I don't know how much that's going to help, considering there's only 30 seconds left and they haven't scored once.
Not yet. Anything could happen. This crab, Banana, they're looking to make a move, looking to bust open a way, and I don't know. VQ, they're definitely adding some clams, but they trade with Tusk, the
They go
Dynamo.
2 down.
Oh, it's gonna come down to the wire.
This is basically their last chance. They got 10 seconds on the clock. Overtime on clams is notoriously short. Something needs to happen.
Oh, Cal is desperately wishing that nothing happens for VQ. They are trying to paint every entry. They're throwing down cooler. They're holding the ball. All it takes is one sneaky entry, and this game could be totally different. The crab is trying to bust a way in, and there they go. Oh, it's in.
Oh no, one clam away. Oh, you hate to see it.
Oh, gamers right there. That is just like we were saying on Mahi Mahi. I'm sure VQ is doing fist bumps and screaming and popping off, but High Point, that's a bad feeling. They had control of the game from almost minute 4 all the way through, and all it takes is one slip up at the end for crusty maps like that to tie the set at 2-2.
Oh man, it's heartbreaking, but I almost feel like I'm not really sure about how I feel about that hammer at the end. I feel like maybe that was a little too greedy. And as soon as that hammer went down and it turned into a 3v or a 4v3, VQ just immediately saw that opportunity like, well, all right, this game is ours now. And they were able to take down one more player, and with only the pencil and I believe the Dynamo, that was not going to be enough to stop their push. And well, they made the comeback.
Good gracious. Well played to VQ. You hate to see it for High Point, but goodness gracious, that's what we did. That's pretty much what we did to Impulse, so what could you do? What could you say? And I'm just now catching up in the chat. Marsh saying, I'm so ready for, I thought it was based commentary, but it's biased commentary. No. Here on the Take Sparda show, we keep an open mind, very unbiased around here. Go Cal! I mean, it's anyone's game. 2-2, baby.
I mean, for anybody watching, you always love to see these sets go to the final game, but with personal experience going all the way to a game 9, it is the most terrifying feeling because you put so much time, so much work, and the enemy team is just meeting you blow for blow, and it's just, of course, I want my friend to win, but at the same time, I gotta admit, these games are extremely close, and I have no idea how this is gonna end. I'm kind of hoping we get to a game 9 just for the hype, but man, these are high stress, and I'm just watching. I'm not even playing, and I'm feeling stressed.
Speaking of high stress, we've got TC on ship shape cargo control. Sparda, what do you think we're going to be looking at for one of our Thorns Inside's ship shape?
I feel like this one's going to be a quick one. I hardly ever see any TC ship shape games end up in a grind. I'm just curious to see who's going to win the first team fight, because that just kind of, it seems on average, that kind of determines how the game is going to end. Who wins the first team fight usually is the one that immediately cashes in the tower, but we'll see. With 2 Dynamos, that's kind of hard to say. Who knows?
true. In terms of special economy, they are matching special for special with the exception of High Point has Strikes, where VQ has Killer Whale, but otherwise it is Crab, it is Chumps, and it is Cooler. So these teams are doing a shocking job of kind of mirroring each other, and I mean, what lends credence to my point more than the fact that we're all tied up at 2-2. So, oh, the Dynamo and Cal, they're squaring down. We're gonna see a crush? No, but, oh wait, that wasn't a kill!
Huh?
Well, that was.
Wait, that was double? Honestly, very worthwhile trade there.
Oh, but that leaves just Tusk to fend for themselves in that corner, and they are trying to get out of the way of that, I think. Oh, they found Banana.
Ooh.
My goodness.
Oh.
The curling bomb. Oh, but my goodness, everybody's getting avenged so quickly. This is so high-paced and so high stakes at 2-2.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, it's just really hard to tell how this is going to end up, because even though High Point's doing a really good job at holding back VQ, it's just losing that initial team fight just means that you're going to be on the back foot for this entire push. But it kind of seems, I don't know, everybody's just kind of everywhere all at once right now. It is kind of hard to keep track of of who's winning, because things are just happening.
So true. The praise to Coffee, the blaster there. They went on a bit of a killing spree, and goodness, VQ already having the tower at 48. That is impressive, but definitely don't rest on the don't rest on the things you rest on, because this map is very crazy. It could go either way at any moment.
Yeah, I was about to question the pick of RPD, because it's very strange that you would pick Killer Whale over GG Ink Strikes or GG Booyah Bomb, but they are making excellent use of that chip damage and just being to outrange 3 out of 4 on the side of High Point, and just being a general nuisance and just kind of being that anchor for your team.
Heavens to Betsy, genuinely, I have whatever the opposite of Midas's touch is, because every person I click to dies. I click to their killer, they die. I click to their killer, they die. Man, these squids cannot stay alive long, because this is just blow for blow, shot for shot. These teams really want it.
And I could definitely tell that that Rapid Blaster really wants it, because they were just tearing it up back there. They took out Cal, they took out Tusk, and oh man, this is a real slugfest happening right now.
But speaking of Tusk cleared out left elbow with an amazing double. They're keeping huge pressure, and I think this check is as good as High Points, as Tusk gets an assist. I think Mage perhaps got that pick to keep on securing this. Oh, they didn't quite get the check, but Mage wants it.
Dreams never die as this push continues. The Rapid Blaster finding an angle to actually take out the splash as the checkpoint continues to get chipped away. They're past it, but can they get lead? They are not. At least not yet.
Not yet. 3 go down as the splash is left as the last player coming out of the spawn. The checkpoint is broken, so they'll have a better time if they make it to that neck of the woods again. But that remains to be seen, because VQ, they're playing a really aggressive game, and they are moving all the way up into that nasty chip shape area, but they're 2 down. They're 2 down already, so High Point is looking to get back into mid and keep that push going as Cal gets a trade. What trade? How? Was it a bomb?
Can we get a replay on that one? Instant replay right now?
Good grief.
And while I do applaud VQ for their aggressive play, ooh, I don't know if maybe they should tone it down a bit, because it kind of seems like the more aggressive they get, they're kind of slowly giving up ground to High Point, and we can kind of see that happening right now where, I don't know, it's kind of really hard to tell with how trades are just happening all over the place right now.
And it really doesn't help anything in terms of, like, tracking, when normally it's like, oh, the team with a dynamo and the team without a dynamo. But no such luck for us, Sparda, because goodness, this crab got some luck, though. They survived, I think, 2 strikes to the face in that crab armor, and now they're looking to... They pursue the bucket, but Mage, the bucket... I'm wrong, it's Dust. Dust takes them out. And
but Coffee putting immediate pressure on the tower. Oh, but they go down. This is literally their last chance.
It's up to the bucket. They get a triple. The bucket with the triple.
Oh, the bucket.
They're jumping in. They got it. They got the lead.
Wow.
Holy crap. Well played to Mage. That was despicable and incredible.
That's that's one for the High Point history books if they have one, because there was so much happening there, and then all of a sudden Mage is the only one left on the tower, and they just ride it all the way to victory. I'm gonna need your perspective on that, because so much happened there and my old squid eyes couldn't keep up. But oh my goodness, what exactly happened there?
I thought that it was coming up all VQ for sure, because it looked like the odds were against High Point. It didn't look like they had enough people on the board. The bucket was the last one left, and so I moved to them, and then on the bottom of the bucket screen, they had 3 kills racked up, so they must have thrown a bomb and just, I'm guessing, because I only caught the last half, I'm sure VQ was doing the player supposed to do and rushing tower, because it looked like High Point was toast. It looked like they were Dunyan rings, and so I'm sure VQ was just booking it, and that bucket said, I am planting my feet, I'm chucking everything I have, including 3 deadly tornadoes of ink, and somehow they willed that lead. I cannot believe that.
Incredible stuff. And honestly, that's kind of what we look for in sets like these, because usually ship-shaped games are not that close. Usually whoever wins the first team fight just rides the tower to victory, but I'm glad that this set is this close, because you'd almost never get ship-shaped games like that.
True, yeah. Our prediction was that one was going to go pretty quickly, but I think these teams are so mirrored. I mean, in a sense, they are cut from the same cloth, so maybe that only makes sense, but goodness gracious, I did not expect to see that kind of a clutch overtime win. I mean, well played to High Point. That was, yeah, I said it earlier about VQ, but I'm sure High Point is now fist bumping and screaming and popping off, because those wins feel so great.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of which, this is kind of a Splatoon classic, Rainmaker on Museum.
A classic pain in the ass, that is. Hey, we're Rainmaker on Museum.
Listen, this is one of my, maybe this is backline bias, but this is one of my preferred map mode combinations. Okay.
Same, as long as we win. We're looking into this the comps that we have. It looks like VQ is going with Double Crab, Cooler, and Killer Whale, while it looks like High Point is staying with, I believe that's either, well, no, we got a shot this time. I'm not sure what they were playing before.
I'm really curious to see, or I'm really curious what the logic was for Coffee to stay RPD. That seems like a very strange choice for Rainmaker, 'cause you don't really have much shield damage at all. Maybe they're just banking on the fact that Rapid Pro will be able to keep the Dynamo in check, but I don't know. I don't know if Tusk will allow that to happen, considering how the last game went.
We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. It looks like VQ is able to move out of their spawn with the Rainmaker into the side that they want to go, but they only have 30 seconds left to move it in this direction. They get a pick on Tusk, and that leaves High Point with 2 members on the board, and I think that's all 4 of VQ as they are pushing into Spinner, and they might be able to clear this check. Ooh, yes indeed.
And I don't, maybe I spoke too soon, but I want to credit that push to Coffee, because they managed to cancel the Zuka. They got a triple, which allowed them to get the checkpoint in the first place, and they're able to just kind of keep High Point in check until the Rainmaker shield decided that enough was enough.
Oh my goodness. It looked like VQ had spent all of their chips on that play, but then they got jumpers to back up on the ramp that were taken out by the Rainmaker pop, and so this just keeps on going back and forth, up and down, and it's just a bloodbath in mid. Even backline Cal is in mid looking for picks, and it was just a little too far as the crab gets a pick but the other crab said, no, it's my territory. Get out of here, partner.
I was actually going to say that this map is one of the few where getting first checkpoint is pretty huge, especially if one team is just able to consistently hold mid. That first checkpoint can sometimes feel impossible, but sure enough, High Point slowly chipping away at VQ's defense up until apparently right now, where they just went 3 down.
Looking back, even though the Dynamo did take out Soda, Soda had amazing aim going onto ledge with Sword. I know that's a really annoying thing to be on the receiving end of, but just well done to them, because the aim was spot on, and they were really poking holes. And speaking of poking holes, Coffee's up here by Inflatable looking to push back as many blue squids as they can until Soda said no. But who's saying no? Who's winning this? What is happening?
At least from what I'm seeing, VQ is winning this until actually commentator's curse strikes once again as Azuka was like, no.
Zuka indeed said no. And the shot, they find a jump in mid, but they are rolling away. Oh, but the teamwork. The shot Dynamo combo, able to take that jumper out. And High Point is looking to take back mid and this right side if they're lucky. But that's a tall order as VQ is on heavy defense. Oh, and the Zook, maybe? One down with the Zook.
Barely getting the Dynamo. Very nice.
Oh.
However, High Point going 2 down once again. They don't even have a single point on the board right now. Oh, now they do, but can they make the first checkpoint?
Oh, it's looking dicey. If Cal can make that... No, jumped into the arms of a hungry Dynamo. That is never what you want to see.
Kind of going back to what I was saying earlier about how the first checkpoint being almost impossible, depending on how the situation is going. I mean, that's kind of how what it's looking like. High Point struggling to get a single good hold on mid. They're going 2 down again. The Zuka going out, hoping to equalize the odds, but just unable to find the mark as they go 2 down once again.
And I was about to say that it looks like the edit, Twiniki, and if it's not Twiniki, I apologize, but it looks like Twiniki. It looks like they were comfortable just playing defense, but they're here in mid, holding that elbow, trying to push, and then they get taken out by a suction bomb that I was not on my radar, so who can blame them? It came out of nowhere.
I mean, with only 15 seconds on the clock, this is the final chance for High Point to make a comeback, and it's going to be one heck of a climb. Not only do they have to get the checkpoint, but they're also going to have to pass that lead, which is looking like it's not going to happen because of that crab tank.
Unlucky. It's hard, I think, in a situation like that where you want to have as many people spread out as possible, but also as many people working on Rainmaker as possible. I think it's just a hard strategic gamble, because, I mean, maybe you'll get lucky and nobody's, at that elbow, but that was not what High Point found. They found, I think it was the edit, maybe, on that right side elbow, and the edit was standing their ground and just disrupting, preventing High Point from getting the pop that they desperately needed.
Yeah, and something that VQ was doing extremely well was defending their spinner, because that's exactly how you get points on Museum Rainmaker, or just Museum in general, is taking your opponent's spinner, and that's something that, correct me if I'm wrong, High Point was just unable to get there. Every time they got close, the Dynamo was there to stop them. The edit was there to stop them. They just did a really good job defending their spinner, and if you control that, it is really easy to defend the I almost said choke point, the checkpoint. I mean, it really is kind of a choke point. And I feel like that was the big deciding factor for that game. High Point was just unable to break their defense on their spinner to get that first checkpoint.
Unbelievably true. And folks, you didn't expect us to have celebrity interviews. We've got Banana and Coffee on the show right now in the chat. Banana says something about eating rice with peanut butter, and Coffee saying that they were tricked. We'll have more after this quick break. The break's only 1 second. We're back, folks, with Splat Zones on Hagglefish Market.
The golden standard. This is what, if you think of Splatoon 3 competitive, Zones Haggle is what you think of, the golden standard. And I know you are the biggest hater of this map mode, but it is the golden standard, Take.
You see, Sparda, I am only the biggest hater of this map mode when I'm playing against somebody like Cal, because somebody like Cal is going to park their butt on that nasty translucent tent, and they're going to stick there for the entirety of the game, which makes it very hard for rats like me to do our rat-like bidding. And so... I don't know. I think Cal brings a huge boon to High Point, specifically on this map and mode. And if VQ can break through and just throw everything they can at Cal, I think VQ is going to win. However, if the rest of High Point, if they can fortify mid and build that castle defense up by that tent, I don't know. I think it's going to go to High Point, and so we'll see how this unfolds. Here in game, are we on game 7, I think? Because we're 3-3.
Yep, it's game 7. And honestly, I feel like a big part of that is going to be Coffee on the Rapid Pro, because that is the only weapon on their team comp that can even challenge Cal on tent. As we can see, I don't know, Coffee's kind of proving my point right now.
Oh, that is a rough start for High Point, because VQ they rushed that alley and they took no prisoners. It was coming up all VQ, and they are protecting mid. They are poking with that blaster. This is gold standard my butt. This is gonna be hard to get back into.
I mean, like you were saying, you know, High Point's comp is very powerful on the tent. But yeah, you can have the tent all you want, but you actually need to capture the zone and hold it, which is a point that VQ is proving very much so. Where yeah, you can park your range on the tent all you want, but if our blaster can poke you and force you out of there, we're just gonna win this game.
Oh, and this game is bamboozling to say the least. The amount of paint that all of these teams, or all as if there's more than two, that both of these teams are throwing at the zone is astonishing. Like, High Point was fighting for a long time to add that penalty to VQ, and they got it, but it is already going back and forth as Twinnicki gets a pick on Soda Chip and is trying to get that sprinkler out of the right, because heckin' sprinklers, man.
Yep. I was actually about to say that if you didn't mention it, because I was about to comment on whoever sprinklers that is, I believe it's Cal's, was getting a lot of mileage, just kind of chilling there, just constantly painting and giving special.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we have 4 crabs on this map right now, 2 on both sides. It is just crabs everywhere you look, trying to get picks. I mean, crabs don't do a tremendous job at painting, but with how there's just these long sight lines and these tents you're trying to clear out, Crab seems like a pretty decent pick, and both teams are definitely agreeing with that.
Yeah, I would imagine that if they're adapting to each other's team comps, Crab is pretty strong against both of them. And you know what else is pretty strong against High Point? Rapid Blaster Pro, apparently, because Coffee is going nuts.
Oh, it looks like Mage had a tremendous flank opportunity set up, but they did play it safe and they jumped out as VQ continues to push in. But they might overextend. We're gonna see what happens here under this tent as the 2 go down, as Cal is set up on this tent. And, maybe they're just trying to distract the members of High Point from this zone. Oh, but Coffee's taken out by Mage. Pivotal, huge pick.
But so far from what it seems like, VQ is doing a very good job at staggering High Point right now. But I mean, High Point just took the zone and forced a retreat. So we're going to see how VQ responds to this.
Oh my goodness, with crabs, Sparda. They're responding with crabs. Every player I move to, it's just a crab bonanza. Banana's got crabs. Mage has got well, not like that. Is using a crab.
Whoa, hold on. Wait a minute.
wait. It is just wild how these teams are fighting for this zone right now. And High Point coming for that lead. They're 5 points away. Can they hold it long enough? It's going to be close. They got it.
They got the lead. They managed to break through that offense, just that constant pressure, and they managed to take the lead, but they're immediately getting forced back. And with how intense these team fights are being, 30 seconds isn't that long before they get lead again.
The Dynamo here in the left flank, they were looking for a double. It looked like they had it sold, but I'm going to blame roller moments on that one, because I stand with you, Dynamo. That looks like a good shot. But we've got penalties of 50 on the side of High Point and 12 on the side of VQ, and those numbers have just changed. Outdated, but whoa! Dynamo for Dynamo takes out ADB? I'm gonna say ADB. Apologies if that's wrong. We should have asked you guys for how to say your names before we just rolled out of bed and commentated. But Tusk is poking and prodding and now running and jumping. They don't want to go down. They need to keep this space to keep VQ from turning the tides of this game yet again.
And immediately as you say that, they go 3 down with Cal being the last one. It's all going to come down to this. Can High Point manage to break this offense? And how far is VQ willing to go up into their spawn to risk it all?
Oh, it's gonna that clock is ticking down. Oh, VQ 3 down.
Oh no, the punished for that greed. I don't agree with how far they pushed in, but oh, that was looking real scary for a second there for High Point.
That is such a difficult call because I can hear Mad, our teammate Mad's voice in my head being like, it's all or nothing. You got to get in there and kill them. But if it goes wrong, you have situations like that where you overextend just a little bit too much. You get the legs cut out from underneath you. And then when you have weapons like the pencil and the sword and the 2 sets of crabs and all this situation that can just paint from afar, that zone is flipping in a matter of hardly any seconds, and that's exactly what we saw happen. That's just a way to go, and that gets us at 4-3 in the favor of High Point. So if High Point can pull themselves up by their angry rain boots and win Inkblot Clam Blitz, they will have this set against VQ. But if VQ can dig their heels in, and if they can say no more Dynamo shenanigans unless it's coming from ADB, again, sorry if that's not right, but if they can do that, we'll be at a Game 9 situation, which God knows what Game 9 is, but we might just find out. Stay tuned.
Honestly, just to have the longest set possible, I'm secretly hoping for a Game 9 just because of how close these games are. But I already know High Point really, really wants this to end, considering how stressful these matches are. So, I don't know. I mean, judging from the last game, it just kind of felt that High Point kind of caught on to the fact that their passive-aggressive style was just kind of being met with Coffee's Blaster, and it wasn't really going too well for the majority of that match, but as soon as High Point took the initiative and started being really aggressive and meeting them at zone, they just took all of the momentum away from VQ. So let's see how VQ adapts to this.
Goodness, that's a good thing to mention. How the momentum is just shifting between these two teams over and over. I feel like it's impossible to predict how this set is going to end because we just keep on seeing pivotal play after pivotal play, and we're probably going to see more of it here. We see High Point sticking with their double crab situation. I think that's the same. It's a similar comp to the last game. I can't be bothered. And VQ, they're running the same.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Here I am being silly goose, and already VQ is 2 members down, and they're hopping back to try and protect Basket as High Point is building their clams and trying to do sneaky dooley things, and they're successful.
And as a tale as old as time, one crab gets popped, another crab immediately follows as all of a sudden High Point goes 3 down. Banana winning the crab wars, so I mean once again we find ourselves in a very similar situation in this set where it's just a slug match the whole time.
A slug match indeed, and also just another switch. Well, and then it switched again before I could even say that. It looked like VQ was pressuring High Point's Basket right afterwards, but High Point's doing something scary, and they're scaring them back to mid. I think they got a pick or two that pushed them backwards. And now we're kind of back to a reset where the teams are fighting for mid. They're looking for clams. It looks like Cooler's down on the side of High Point, but VQ, they definitely have the clam advantage as their edit is holding the ball with a good handful of clams on the rest of their members. Oh.
And, yeah, that's... Oh, wait a minute. Looks like VQ's about to get their first push. Any moment now? Or the clam? The clam?
Maybe?
Earth to VQ. Oh, there we go. There's the push. I was looking for signs of life on the side of VQ. I was like, wait, they're 3 down. There's the clam. Where's the clam?
Oh, they were real afraid of that crab, but it looks like the Dynamo on VQ's side, they had just enough clams to keep this thing busted wide open, and the lead is already at 27. Oh, but ADB, my poor
Up 20.
sweet baby, fell into the water. You hate to see it.
I mean, that's the kind of push you want for your opener. I mean, getting it down to 15 on the first go is going to be really hard to overcome, especially now, you know, VQ has some room to be a little bit more risky with their plays. As long as they get ideal trades, who knows, man? Maybe this game is already over.
Oh, we'll see. We're about to be something one of these days, Sparta. But besides that, we're about to see something from Banana, because they're waiting, they're holding onto that crab. They're about to get cooler. Oh, but that's a lot of damage. They're trying to survive underneath the cylinder of that cooler, and it is crab time, baby. They're crabbing, looking for Mage, looking for Callium. They're doing a weird dance on that block, and so far haven't found anything. And Tusk is hiding with that clam, because they want to dunk that for sure, no doubt about it. That's how the game is played.
Ooh, speaking of which, Tusk managing to get Banana there, looking to start the push with these chumps, and they're gonna have to start something soon, because the more of them holding on to those power clams, the enemy team's gonna know exactly where you want to go, exactly where you want to be, and exactly what I'm saying. You know, both clams are going left, they're meeting the flankers on the right, and all of a sudden now the people holding the power clams can't advance as Tusk manages to show their dominance by getting that squish.
I missed the squish, no! Goodness me. Wow. Soda Chip was doing a good job trying to push and trying to use their crab to pressure, but speaking of using clam, Twiniki dunking that and jumping out. They are going to be giving High Point a power clam with that play, but is High Point going to be able to push? It seems like they're having a really hard time taking that mid space and getting onto the plat of VQ, because VQ just has that blaster who keeps on finding those picks. They have the crabs that are coming out, and the surprise attack from the Dynamo over and over from every side. These Dynamos are wild.
With only 30 seconds left, oh no, they go 3 down. Yikes. I was actually about to say this is their moment to go for it, but all of a sudden it feels like all of the wind was taken out of their sails.
Oh, and even a second time of the winds having no sails, because Soda Chip is left alone. They tried to rescue that clam because they're praying for overtime, but this is going to be an uphill battle if ever we've seen one, as High Point is just trying to prevent another dunk. Maybe they prevented it for a minute, but if they come back, this is going to be absolutely miraculous.
Yeah, I mean, Clam Blitz is definitely a mode where crazy comebacks are definitely viable, but I mean, they basically have no more time. I think this one is pretty much over.
But Cal is in their base! Oh, but they did not have enough time to score the clam. Why was Cal in their base? Cal, what were you doing? How did you...
That push was a little too late. Time can be a cruel mistress, but a very dominant performance by VQ there. They got their huge first push. They realized that now they can relax a little bit and just play that sweet neutral game that Splatoon is known for. Not really.
Not really.
And they just had control of that entire match after that first push.
Oh, going off of that game, if we were to tell somebody, oh, this is the game that just happened, how do you think the set has been going? I'm sure anybody would be like, oh, it's probably a bit of a blowout, maybe like 4-1. But Sparta, that is not what we're looking at. Right now, the score is tied 4 to High Point, 4 to VQ, and we're looking at the almighty, all sweaty, all stinky Game 9.
Oh yeah, the all-important Game 9. I feel like, just looking at how this set was going even from the start, I think I said it a few times, where I feel like this is going to go to a Game 9. It absolutely is going to a Game 9, and considering the history between the members of both teams, I can imagine that both of them are really hoping to not walk away from this one as the loser.
True. Yeah, I mean, they've put so much on the line. Both teams want it so badly, and no matter who wins and who loses, what a set, Sparta. What a phenomenal set to get to commentate and watch and just be a part of, because this is definitely, I'll say it, I'll go and say something stupid. This is so much more interesting than a high level. We're having crazy-ass dynamos doing nonsense.
Goodness.
We have pencils where they should not be. We've got all sorts of... We've got coffee in my chat saying they don't want to play Tower Manta. What? Like, this is so... This is wacky. This is exciting, and this is where I want to be. Speaking of people in the chat, thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm glad you're here. It's a little wild that my view count is more for an unlisted stream than any of my streams in the past. But that's just how it goes.
I think you found your future career here. Now you will commentate for everything.
You know, it's more likely than you think, because with the honorable Falco having un baby, we might get recruited, dude. Someone's gonna find this and be like, okay, you two, you're hired.
And I'm honestly surprised. Speaking of which, kind of getting our heads back in the game here. I was fully expecting Cal to go to edit, considering that they've been talking about how pencil on this map is very weird, which I think everybody agrees. Everyone in the backline community agree that pencil is. This is definitely not a pencil map, but I can kind of see with how high stakes things are right now. You definitely don't want to switch to a weapon you're not entirely familiar with yet, but it's going to be really interesting to see how Cal makes this work as High Point immediately goes 2 down.
Oh, I was waiting to see a clutch play by Cal with the pencil to see if they could prove that pencil's gonna be wacky, but that opener just kind of cut the legs out of them, and now it looks like VQ is looking to say, we want to wrap this up, we want to walk away with game 9, and we want to bust through this, what is it, the second? Yeah, checkpoint 2 already with the gold dynamo moving up, trying to assert, claim, get bombed by the shot. It was already down. That tower is still moving, Sparta. What is happening?
A lot of things are happening right now, truth be told, but what I can definitely say for sure is that VQ is definitely showing why edit is extremely good on this map. It's just splatling privilege, really. Manta Maria is definitely the map that's splatling privilege. You can just kind of get away with everything, to be entirely honest. You just kind of stay on the tower, you stay on the grates. You can just kind of get away with anything you want to do.
Oh, speaking of getting away with it, it looks like ADB is looking to ADB is looking to paint up their sides and try and play a little bit of defense, but while they're doing that, High Point is trying to move and take a checkpoint before this game gets underneath 3 minutes. It looks like they do get that checkpoint, and is Cal going to be able to survive the Blaster and Dynamo combo? They are not. That is a lot of firepower.
And that right there is an example of why Pencil isn't exactly favored on this map. It's just because of how vertical it is, how many walls, the path of the tower. It's so hard to get a good hit on anything.
Ah, indeed it is. Speaking of getting hits, Banana is trying to clear out bunker. They drop down to get that cooler and kind of make love to the tower for a little bit before running into the snipe rider who's waiting for them on that block. They are trying to shut this down. They need the High Point needs the tower moving in the other direction if they're going to stand to take this set.
Exactly, and it looks like they're finally starting to get some kind of second wind here. Ooh, but Tusk just going down in their bunker immediately, and it's just any amount of ground they gained, or any amount of ground they gain is immediately taken away. And it's just, oh my, this feels like it's extremely hard for High Point right now.
Goodness. Well, you say that, but then VQ effectively just had a wipe. The Blaster was the last one, and then they got taken out by, I believe, the Pencil, and High Point is looking at that second checkpoint. They need to spread out a little bit. They're going to need to push forward if they want to stay, or well, not stay in this set, if they want to win this set. Oh!
And yeah, as soon as I say that, the reversal of fortunes, they take the lead. Can they close it out? Can they close it out? That's the question here.
Maybe. The edit was kind of the last line of defense.
VQ is staggering pretty badly right now. High Point's about to dunk it, and they are the winner.
Holy moly! That it all happened so fast. The slippery slope where, oh my goodness! Even watching that, I'm frustrated because it's like you can play a tremendous game and have that opener and just be dominating the first like 80% of a game, but all you have to do is make one goof, and all of a sudden you are 4-5'd. What a set!
Yeah, what a fantastic set played by both teams. I mean, yeah, if I was VQ right now, it would sting a lot to lose this way, especially after that amazing start that they just had. But oh, they played an amazing game. This set was down to the wire, and honestly, I feel like a lot of that was just Manta Maria is just one of those maps where if you're an advantage, if you manage to get a wipe, you can just you can just run with it and just steal an entire game. And it was just so hard to to keep up with everything that was going on, controlling the camera and then trying to say my thoughts only for the entire momentum of the game to shift. And now the team, I'm being like, yeah, they're gonna win. Oh, now they're gonna lose. Oh, they're gonna win. No, oh, they're gonna lose again.
Absolutely wild. Man, what a switch. Well played to both teams, I think, and good for these teams, man. Everybody's saying, even people who weren't playing are saying GG's. It's just good vibes all around. Coffee is another celebrity interview. Coffee is saying that, boy, they don't like that map, and that's us with every map in this game, so we feel you. Before we wrap up, I do want to share my screen for the Div 6 remainder of the bracket, because it'd be fun to kind of take a look and see how things are shaping up. So let's see if I can actually find the, what even is it? It's my reaction screen. Where is that? Well, that's not the right thing. Let me see. Let's keep Elgato so we have the sound, and then I want to add, or I guess if anybody scoots out, thank you everybody so much for watching. GG's to High Point, who barely got that set, and GG's to VQ as well. It seemed, you could feel the energy between these two teams. Sure, they were giving it everything they got, but these are friends, these are competitors, and what a just wholesome and enjoyable set to be a part of. So thanks to them for letting us come in here and do our thing. And then for those of you who aren't scooting, I'm going to fight with OBS so we can take a look at this bracket.
Yeah, definitely. For those who aren't aware and those who are sticking around, we basically decided 10 minutes or like an hour before this set began to actually commentate. So if we seemed a little all over the place, that's probably why we're fighting with the camera and trying to commentate a set. Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's a little janky, but honestly, it's good enough. Hopefully I'm not doxing myself. No, I'm not. Alright, good. Let me make this full screen. Where can I do that? Sorry, boomer moment. Okay, never mind. Full screen it will not be. So we're looking at, this is season 15, Division 6, Group D. So then, technically this was round 4, High Point versus VQ, and High Point takes it 5-4. So it looks like High Point will be fighting Paradigm Starfish, as I think Cal mentioned they, or maybe it's they're fighting 2 teams this week. I can't really remember. But hopefully we get an invite back, and then we can commentate Paradigm Starfish. Let me take a look at the standings here. So Paradigm has clocked 3 wins with no L's so far. High Point is technically now 3 wins, 1 loss, and then you can see the rest of the scores through there. VQ, it looks like they still have a few matches to go before this season is done. Because right now on their scoreboard is 1-1. After this set, it's 1-2. Sparda, looking at this bracket, what do you think we can expect? Do you think High Point has a chance against the so far undefeated Paradigm Starfish?
Well, I mean, Paradigm Starfish is a team I'm not too entirely familiar with, so I don't know exactly what they look like. But I mean, considering that they're undefeated right now, they're obviously a force to be reckoned with within this group. I feel like they're probably guaranteed to make it to playoffs. I believe, you know what? Screw the bias. I'm a high point believer. I'm high point pilled. I feel like they're gonna be our second team to move on. Um, it's kind of it really is hard to tell, especially with how chaotic LUTI groups can be, where like one team looks like nigh unbeatable and all of a sudden they just drop 2 sets out of nowhere. But I feel like, at least for Group D, I feel like our playoff participants will be Paradigm and High Point. And whether or not High Point will defeat Paradigm Starfish, I have faith that they can. It seems like their Pencil Dynamo Core team has a lot of results, and I'm not sure if Clyde is agreeing or disagreeing with me right now.
Oh, the Clyde is voicing his concerns. I'm trying to mute the stream, but I can't. Clyde, my friend, you'll have to tune in next time to see how Clyde feels about Paradigm versus High Point, because so far he just seems vocal. He seems real vocal about that. And so while I would love to do more reminiscing, I think Clyde has decided that's where we have to end the stream. So, Sparda, thank you so much for being part of this commentary journey with me. That was a whole lot of fun.
Heck yeah, between fighting with the camera controls and trying to keep up with how many times the momentum shift, I'm glad that we finally were able to do some sort of live commentary.
You and me both.
Happy to be here.
Everybody who tuned in and brought the energy in the chat, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. We always appreciate your support. But, yeah, all that's left is to sign off. I've been Takeshi.
And I'm Spartalino.
And, oh, wait.
Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.